English fairy tale, The Labyrinth of Thalasson, a tale of fate and foam. Prologue, The Curse Beneath the Waves. In an age long before time wore the edges of mountains, or tides kissed the shores into smoothness, the Aegean Sea held a secret deeper than its trenches and more ancient than Olympus itself. Far beneath the waves, where even Poseidon's trident could barely stir the sleeping sands, there lay a sunken city, Thalasson. Legend said it was once a thriving jewel of wisdom and beauty, a place where humans and sea spirits lived as one. But its people, in their pride, dared to build a tower that reached toward the gods. Offended by their hubris, the gods cast down Thalasson, sealing it under the ocean in a labyrinth of ever-shifting coral, darkness, and memory. But the city did not die. It waited. A prophecy passed through whispers, hidden in the hum of seashells and carried by ocean winds. When the blood of the fearless meets the tears of the forgotten, Thalasson shall rise once more. Generations turned to centuries. The prophecy became a myth, but the gods remembered. Chapter 1, The Orphan of Ithara. In the coastal village of Ithara, nestled between steep cliffs and sapphire blue waves, lived a young orphan named Kalin. With unruly black curls, storm-colored eyes, and a scar shaped like a crescent moon on his left wrist, Kalin had never known his parents. He was raised by the village healer, a quiet woman named Yelea, who always claimed that Kalin was a child born not of fate, but of purpose. Kalin was different from the other children. He didn't dream of fishing boats or olive harvests. He dreamed of the sea speaking to him, of voices in the surf calling his name. At night, he would climb to the cliffs and listen to the wind, which often seemed to answer. One evening, after a violent storm had passed, the beach was littered with driftwood, torn sails, and strange objects never seen before. Among them, Kalin found something peculiar, a shell carved with an ancient symbol, glowing faintly with blue light. As his fingers brushed it, a vision struck him, a drowned city, a weeping goddess, and a labyrinth glowing beneath the sea. He fell unconscious. Chapter 2, The Oracle's Warning. Kalin awoke in Yelea's hut. The old woman looked troubled. "That symbol," she said, pointing to the shell he clutched tightly even in sleep, "belongs to Thalasson, a city cursed by the gods. I had hoped the sea had forgotten." Kalin's curiosity ignited. "It showed me things. I saw a city and someone crying." Yelea took a deep breath. Long ago, Thalasson was ruled by Queen Marianne, a demigoddess born of Poseidon. When the city fell, she was trapped within. Her spirit still lingers, bound by sorrow. The labyrinth beneath the sea was designed to keep mortals away. "Then why am I seeing it?" Kalin asked. Yelea looked into his eyes, then whispered, "Because you carry her blood." The words stunned him. "You mean You are descended from the sea," she confirmed, and perhaps meant to fulfill the old prophecy. Chapter 3, The Journey Begins. Determined to understand his visions, Kalin set off toward the coast of Delca, where the ruins of an old temple to Poseidon still stood. Legend said an oracle resided there, one who could speak with the gods. His journey was not easy. He was chased by bandits, nearly drowned in a whirlpool, and once lured off course by a siren disguised as a child. But he remembered Yelea's words, "You are not born of fate, but of purpose." Finally, at the temple, he met the oracle, Pharessa, a blind woman with silver hair and eyes like stars. "You seek the labyrinth," she said, before he could speak. "But know this, none who have entered have returned. The path opens only to one who bears the scar of the moon and the blood of the deep." Kalin showed her his wrist. "Then you are the key," she murmured, "but the key must be tested." From her robes, she withdrew a small vial of seawater. Drink this, and the gods will send you a dream. If you are worthy, they will grant you safe passage." Kalin drank. Chapter 4. The Dream of Trials. That night, he dreamed of 3 trials. The trial of truth. He stood in front of a mirror that reflected not his body, but his soul. When he lied, the mirror shattered. Only honesty restored it. The trial of courage. He faced a beast made of shadows and water. The only weapon was a blade of light that appeared when he stepped forward without fear. The trial of sacrifice. He stood before a door that could only open if he gave up what he loved most, the memory of his adoptive mother, Yelea. He hesitated, then placed the memory into the sea, and the door opened. He awoke gasping, tears on his cheeks. The oracle was waiting. "You have passed. The gods have accepted your resolve." She handed him a map, etched in pearl. "This leads to the sunken entrance of Thalasson. The path will shift, but the brave shall find the way." Chapter 5. The Gate Beneath the Sea. With the oracle's map in hand, Kalin journeyed to the Cliffs of Morn, a jagged coast where fishermen never dared cast nets. According to legend, the waters below once boiled with the wrath of Poseidon himself. It was here that the entrance to Thalasson awaited, hidden beneath the waves. Kalin waited until twilight, when the map glowed faintly. He dove into the ocean, guided by the light from the etched curl. As he swam deeper, the currents shifted strangely, almost as if they were guiding him, not resisting him. Soon, he reached an arch of coral shaped like a serpent's jaw. Beyond it lay a spiraling tunnel of sapphire stone, etched with glowing runes. The labyrinth of Thalasson had opened. But as he passed the threshold, the entrance sealed shut behind him. Chapter 6. The City of Silence. Inside the labyrinth, the water turned warm and still. Kalin could breathe, not through gills, but as if the water itself allowed it. Strange fish with translucent fins darted past, and the walls shimmered with forgotten murals of gods, battles, and joy. After hours of winding through the maze, Kalin emerged into a great atrium, the heart of Thalasson. Coral towers rose toward the ceiling, which shimmered like the ocean surface above. In the center stood a throne carved from seashell and ivory. On it sat Queen Nerine, or rather her spirit. Draped in a gown of kelp and pearls, she looked both radiant and sorrowful. Her eyes met Kalin's, and she smiled faintly. "So, the sea remembers." Kalin knelt. "Are you the one who called me?" "I am the sorrow that haunts this city," she said, "and you are its hope." The Queen's Tale. Queen Nerine told Kalin the full truth. Long ago, Thalasson had flourished because it was built on balance between the mortal world and the divine sea. But the people grew greedy. They built the Tower of Stars to touch Olympus itself, defying the will of the gods. As punishment, Poseidon and Athena conspired to drown the city. But Nerine, who loved her people, begged for mercy. Instead of death, the gods gave them stasis, a prison of memory and salt. "I remained awake while my people slept," she said, "guarding the labyrinth, waiting for one with the courage to seek truth and restore balance." "You mean to break the curse?" Kalin asked. "Yes, but there is a price. You must awaken the city, not by power, but by reliving its downfall. You must face their pride and survive it." Chapter 8. The Echoes of Pride. Nerine led Kalin to the central plaza, where statues of the city's former leaders stood. She placed her hand on one, and the statue shimmered, then came alive with memory. Kalin was pulled into a vision, into the body of Arthon, the architect who led the building of the Tower of Stars. He felt Arthon's arrogance, his speeches, his disregard for warnings from the gods. Then came the day the sky cracked and the sea roared up to swallow the city. Kaylin was swept through visions of screams, crumbling towers, and Noreen crying out for mercy. The fear, the grief, the betrayal, they washed over him like waves. When the vision ended, he collapsed in tears. "You have seen," said Noreen gently. "Now you must choose. Forgive them or let the city sleep forever." Kaylin stood slowly, then nodded. "I forgive them. Let them wake." She smiled. "Then the labyrinth will grant you its final trial." Chapter 9. The Final Trial. As Nuriane's voice faded, the waters of the plaza shimmered. The coral walls quaked. Before Kaylin, a spiral staircase of light emerged from the ocean floor, leading downward into the darkest part of the labyrinth. "The heart of the labyrinth," said Nuriane, "where the gods placed the soul of Thalasson. To awaken the city, you must pass through it." "But I've already been tested," Kaylin said. The queen nodded solemnly. "This final trial is not of strength or courage, but of identity. The labyrinth will show you your deepest self. If you accept it, you will become the key." Kaylin descended the glowing stairs. Chapter 10. The Mirror of Depths. At the bottom, he found a vast cavern filled with swirling mists and floating orbs of memory. In the center stood a tall mirror, made of water, held in place by unseen forces. As he approached, the mirror rippled and revealed not his reflection, but another Kaylin. This version wore fine armor, had a crown upon his head, and a cold, proud smile. "I am what you could become," said the mirror Kaylin. "With the power of Thalasson, you could rule both sea and land. Bring justice, raise empires. Is that not your destiny?" "No," Kaylin whispered. "That's not why I came." "You came to seek answers, to find greatness. I came to free them." The mirror cracked. The false Kaylin vanished. In its place floated a single pearl, pulsing with blue light, the heart of Thalasson. Kaylin reached out and touched it. Chapter 11. The Awakening. A great tremor spread through the labyrinth. Above, coral towers unfurled like flowers. Statues blinked into life. The people of Thalasson, long lost in slumber, awoke, confused but unharmed. Nuriane appeared before them, radiant and whole. "My people," she declared, "you have been given a second chance, thanks to the courage of one who bore no crown, wielded no army, but chose truth over power." The citizens knelt before Kaylin, who stood stunned. "You are their savior," said Nuriane. "But now you must choose. Stay and rule the city of the deep, or return to the world above." Kaylin looked around. The beauty, the magic, the peace. Then he remembered Yelea, Ithara, the cliffs, and the mortal world. "I choose to return. This was never meant to be mine." Nuriane smiled through tears. "Then you are truly worthy." Chapter 12. Return to the surface. Kaylin was carried upward in a column of light, the people of Thalasson waving farewell. He woke on the beach of Ithara, the carved shell still in his hand, now dim and ordinary. No one in the village knew of his journey, but the sea seemed gentler now, and the winds whispered his name with warmth. Yelea embraced him, her eyes misty. "You've been gone only a day, and yet you've returned changed." Kaylin nodded. "Some cities never rise again, some do. But it's not their return that matters, it's what we choose to remember." He kept the shell close, a reminder not of power, but of purpose. And sometimes, late at night, he would see blue light glimmer in the surf, proof that Thalasson still lived, somewhere beneath the waves. The end.